for first day into the week. Oh man. Okay, so my computer battery's low, so we're gonna get it cracking. So before we get started today, we're just gonna remind everybody to go ahead and subscribe to Niner Faithful Radio on Twitch for free using Prime Gaming. You got different tiers. You can just go ahead and choose the free with your Amazon Prime, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps out the show. Make sure you can do that by going to twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio. For the Faithful, Pride the Faithful pre-launch sale is coming just a few days away. I'm going as we speak, adding the final t-shirts to the website, so everything's all nice and ready for Friday. You're going to save 20% off of all our designs. Make sure you go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop for all the details, or to go ahead once Friday comes to make your purchases. Go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting event tickets, as well as really help out the show. Also, get your officially licensed Niner gear from shop49ers.com by using our affiliate link that will be in the description of this podcast and video. And go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com to see all of our previous episodes, as well as our interviews and everything. You can also follow the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Go ahead and play the video, and we're going to get it cracking.
Now, 8 seconds to go. Third down. They only have time for two plays no matter what. So Rice goes out to the left. And if you want to take one crack, maybe he's the guy you should go for. Young almost falls down. Throws to the end zone.
All right, and we're cracking. Everybody say what's up to my boy Brian. We are officially proud to announce that we're going to go ahead and keep Brian full-time here on Niner Faithful Radio. He's going to be working with us this season. We haven't quite figured out his role yet, but welcome aboard, brother. So we were going ahead and we were talking off air about and I was telling Brian, we are proud to announce that tailgates at Empire Row are back this year. Man, I was just trying Brian off air. People ask me all the time if I can go to one tailgate, which one would it be? And I told them the rib cook-off, because we feel to get cracking, especially we usually do it on a Sunday night or a Monday night. And so literally I was telling them, parking lots usually open about noon. You'll have people there that get there 8, 9, sometimes even 7, 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll get the grills cracking. We got the eggs. We got the chorizo, sausage, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Cooking and everything like that. Everybody's already got beers cracking. We're already smoking a little something, and then you get into the parking lot, and then that's where the tailgate starts. And so it's literally just a all-day party. It's pretty much like that every game, but obviously the night games you can party longer because the game ain't until 5 o'clock. But green lot, pole 20. We invite all faithful to come out. You will have the time of your life. Ain't no party like a Niner party. So we also have to open up the show. I know I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but For those who didn't know, Greg Knapp went ahead and passed yesterday after being struck by a car and being in an audio accident or auto accident. Brian, you're probably a little young to remember him and everything like that. But I actually do remember when he was on the staff and everything, and it feels very weird because with the passing of him, you know, um, Dwight Clark, a lot of these, the players that we've had recently pass. Um, it feels weird because I'm like I feel a little kind of too young to have players and coaches that were played in my lifetime starting to pass, and very sad news. Our heartfelt condolences go out to his family and everything like that. Always an awkward transition in podcasting, but on to football life, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we are one day away from going camping. We made it. I remember when I approached Brian about doing this podcast and everything like that. I said, "Look, bro," I said, "I'm sorry that it comes, majority of the off season and everything like that, but it'll definitely be worth it." And we were talking about time, and Brian, I am proud to say to you that next time we meet, sir, it'll be after I come back from my first day at training camp. We're gonna, it's finally here. To get into the meat of the subjects today, your, let's say, top 5 training camp battles you're looking forward to this training camp.
One of the top 5. What happened?
I said we'll go back and forth. I'll do one. You'll do one. You don't have to list all 5 right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then we could jump ahead and discuss what we think. Right now, as a wide receiver and corner, I would pick Brandon Ayuk and Jason Verrett. I mean, the route running of Brandon Ayuk is fantastic, and the lockdown of Jason Verrett, it doesn't get any better. Because we don't know who would win. It's just that's one of my tops. I don't know about you, but
no, I totally agree to you. What I think is what's got me excited about that one, actually, and you know what, I'm not gonna lie, that's not even one that I actually kind of thought of, but we're kind of, everybody wants to talk about wide receiver 3, and that's going to be one of my ones is, hey, who wins that? But we'll get to yours, but that is going to be one of mine. Everybody talks about the third receiver battle, and we act like Brandon Ayuk is some 4-year veteran that's proven it over multiple seasons. I mean, he played 12 games last year. They were amazing 12 games. I love what I'm seeing from Brandon Ayuk, and the potential is clearly there. But I think us as faithful, we kind of just act like Brandon Ayuk isn't a second-year player. You feel me? Who didn't have an offseason last year. So that we kind of put Brandon Ayuk as just in the superstar category. And not to say I don't think he is. I think he's going to have an amazing season. I think he's going to break out. And I think that he's going to be one of the players that most benefits from having an off season. A full season to be able to work on his craft. He's going to be one of the – and then the same with Jason Verrett is we all act like, what we seen from Jason Verrett was amazing. To me, what sold me and what made me want to say, hey, Jason Verrett is something definitely we want to say is that first Yams game, I believe it was on Sunday night at Levi's with that pick in the end zone. And if you go back and now that we can see that game in hindsight, that was one of the biggest plays of that game. And you know what? If we made the playoffs last year, I think that we're pointing to that play as one of the turning points of the season. Now ultimately we know we didn't. We know how the rest of the season turned out. But I think that in a lost season, you forget those little moments that, hey, after that Yams game, especially that Patriots game, going into week 8, going up to Seattle, there was a lot different attitude about this football team. And then, of course, we all know what happened week 8. Jimmy gets hurt, Kittle gets hurt, and the season goes in the shitter.
Yeah.
You know, um, and so I'm going to go into my fifth one, or one of my top ones now, is going to be the guard position. And I think that the battle between Aaron Banks and um, Daniel Brunskill and even Lincoln and Jalen Ward, and then versus Javon Kinlaw. And look, I've hyped up Javon Kinlaw more than anybody else. On Friday, everybody's going to see our Player Series T-shirts that we have made for the faithful, by the faithful. Javon Kinlaw is one of the players that we have in our Player Series T-shirts. I believe Javon Kinlaw is going to have a breakout year, and he's going to be another player. Look, all the rookie class from the last year is going to be the players that I believe most benefit from having an offseason this year. Because Javon Kinlaw didn't. And I think that Javon Kinlaw is always going – I don't think he'll ever live up to his expectations, because his expectations are going to be DeForest Buckner. You feel me? And he's not DeForest Buckner. He will never be DeForest Buckner. There's a reason DeForest Buckner was taken 8th overall in that draft. You feel me? But that doesn't mean that I don't think he can be a good player. The superstars, I think that we imagined this defense full of superstars. No. Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are going to be our superstars on defense. And then what I think that they're hoping is that you're going to fill the rest of the position with solid players. So I believe that seeing that, we all believe that Javon Kinlaw is going to take that next step this year. Now it's time to go see it, because he made freaking Lincoln Tomlinson look like an all-pro last year, in training camp from what all the reports were. So looking forward to it. Brian, your next camp battle you're looking forward to?
I'm gonna go similar to yours. I think I'm gonna go Trent Williams and Nick Bosa. Um, you know, we want to see what type of caliber Nick Bosa is, especially after that ACL injury. And it's Trent, big Trent.
The silverback.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm getting hyped up right now, so like, you already know it's gonna be good.
That's Jason and I, when we talk about we've talked about, look, that's way to not bury the lead. That's obviously the position battle that everybody's looking forward to in training camp. I mean, that's basically football porn right there. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's football porn, bro. Like, it's, to me, I think that, and look, it's the best versus the best, and highest left paid, left tackle in NFL history, for now.
Yeah.
What we all assume will be probably one of the highest paid position edge players after this season, maybe next year. Nick Bosa's. It's very obvious why that is, but I think what you brought up was a good point. Is I don't think Nick Bosa is going to see a better left tackle than Trent Williams all year. And it's no secret that his rookie year, Nick Bosa made Joe Staley look average. I don't think that Nick Bosa is going to do that to Trent Williams. Nick Bosa is not going to make Trent Williams look average. I expect Trent Williams, as a matter of fact, I expect Trent Williams to win most of the matchups. To me, if you're coming out and from training camp and you're hearing that, hey, Trent Williams is getting the best of Nick Bosa, that doesn't concern me. I expect that to happen. I think that it would be a bigger if you hear that hey, and I'll say the vice versa. if you hear that, hey, Nick Bosa is making Trent Williams look average, I'm super pumped about that. You feel me? I'm super pumped about that, and I don't think that's a concern over Trent Williams at all. And I think what also doesn't get talked about is Nick Bosa has never had a training camp. He didn't participate in training camp in 2019 because he tweaked his ankle.
Yeah.
And remember there was a little bit of a question mark whether he would be even able to play Week 1 in 2019. I think people forget that because he didn't miss a game, and so you don't remember that he didn't have a training camp in 2019. Matter of fact, I believe it was his first. I want to say it was his first snap in minicamp. He got hurt. I know he hurt his hamstring, and then he ended up hurting his ankle. And so Nick Bosa is that dude. You feel me? He is going to be one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. But there is areas that Nick Bosa can get better at. And let's be real, Nick Bosa ain't played a lot of football since college. You remember he missed majority of his last year at Ohio State with that core injury. Played all of 2019 and then pretty much played a game and a quarter in 2020. So it's been a while since Nick Bosa consistently played some football. And so I would assume that there needs to be some rust knocked off. And so, yeah, obviously, Nick Bosa versus Trent Williams is going to be the football porn. That's going to be where I'm assuming they're going to have the cameras at, for Niners and ESPN and all that. But my next one is going to be, and this is one I don't think that's getting talked enough about, is Emmanuel Moseley versus Diamador Lenore and Ambry Thomas. And I'll even throw Chris Harris in there, who's a draft pick that we've never seen and people aren't expecting much out of. But I knew the Niners were high on him when they drafted him,
Mm-hmm.
and so finally he's healthy. So I'm curious to see if we can see anything. And look, he's battling for his life as a Niner. And so I tend to think that's going to bring the most out of players. So Tim Harris is somebody I'm interested to see, and also Ambry Thomas. It's Eric Crocker talks about it a lot on the Locked On 49ers podcast, where the team selected to play Dante Johnson in the slot and Keller Witherspoon down the stretch last year. When Emmanuel Moseley was healthy enough to play special teams, but they didn't play him a lot from scrimmage. And so everybody has Emmanuel Moseley penciled in as the starter. And fine, if the Niners had to open the season now, I do believe Emmanuel Moseley would be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But there's a reason that the Niners took Ambry Thomas and Diamador Lenore. And maybe you could say that was more of a 2022 move, especially since we're not going to have first-round picks to get the top-tier talent of the first round next year and the year after. So you kind of get, hey, we'll get a third. We'll spend a third round this year and a fifth round this year. But a man going to have to, I'm not going to say win the job. I believe it's his job to lose. But Ambry Thomas definitely has a chance to be a starter this year. Now, will he be? I don't know. He didn't play last year. So, but what he put on film in 2019 looked damn good. And I've had some people that, job is to evaluate corners, say that there was a reason that Ambry Thomas, that if he would have came out in 2019 or 2019 would have been his last year of eligibility, that he might have been gone late first round, early second round. And so the fact that he opted out in 2020 the Niners might have gotten a steal here, and so I'm interested to see, hey, Rook, go earn yourself a job, because he's fired up. He's motivated. He has a chance to be an NFL starter to live his dream. And you know what, Emmanuel Moseley, we like you. You've started the Super Bowl for us, but the NFL's never promised. We all know it means not for long. And so they're always looking to get younger and cheaper. The day look, I promise you, with very few exceptions, obviously Fred Warner, the Niners aren't looking to replace Fred Warner anytime soon. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're not looking for the same for George Kittle, but they're at pretty much every quarterback. Most important position in all of sports is a quarterback. What do the Niners do? Look to get younger and cheaper, right? We
Yeah.
drafted Trey Lance this year, younger and cheaper. And so, Brian, your next training camp battle that you're looking forward to,
I'm gonna say the running
besides
backs.
quarterback?
No, we gotta say
Yeah,
that for
yeah,
we gotta save that best for
yeah. You
last,
guys got to
man.
go over that. Yeah,
I'm gonna say the running backs. I mean, I heard a lot of good stuff from both rookies, Trey Sermon and
yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it's Isaiah. Uh,
Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell.
yeah, Elijah Mitchell. He's
Yeah,
more of a backfield player, but let's see because Jeff Wilson, obviously he's gonna be gone for 4 to 6 weeks.
for
So, and to be honest, I'm not sure if Raheem could be the true number one back. I think he split carries with one of the rookies, and I believe it's going to be Trey Sermon. Obviously,
yeah.
I'm
Uh,
surprised we got him at third.
you know, it is no secret that the Niners, really for years. I mean, I can't even, man, I can't even think of the last time. Frank Gore was obviously the last time we took anybody as high as the third round. The Michael James was the second rounder, I believe. But the Niners generally don't spend high draft capital on running backs. Definitely not during the Lynchahan regime.
Mhm.
Joe Williams, obviously the fourth round was the highest so far, and so that's got to tell you what they think about Trey Sherman. And I think that this, to me, I Jason and I have talked about this before, and I'm pretty sure we might get into it tomorrow. Jason is of the mind that Raheem's going to get traded. Now that was before the Jeff Wilson injury,
Mhm.
which I do believe will be a little bit of a blessing in disguise for the Niners. Because let's not be real. Every year in the Lynchahan regime, we've used every running back. We have a high turnover rate in the running back room. Running backs get hurt, and so having I'm putting Jeff Wilson. My expectations. I know they said 4 to 6 weeks. My expectations. He's probably going to come around week 8. I would expect him at the earliest to come after the bye, which is fine because getting a fresh Jeff Wilson Jr. In week 6, 7, 8, I think will be amazing. Or well, we can't get him back week 6, but week 7, week 8 would be amazing. You know, getting him for the final stretch drive of the season. So to me, it's I don't want Raheem carrying the ball the majority of the time. I have said I believe that the leader of carries this year in the Niner running back room, if everybody, knock on wood, health permitting, will be Trey Sermon. I'm looking at Trey Sermon as going to be the quote unquote bell cow. And even then, I think he might only get 10 to 15 carries a game. I need Raheem to be. What's Raheem's best skill? Raheem's best skill is, hey, if I hit the corner on you and I can get straight, you know what I'm saying? I'm gone. If I get in the
Yeah.
open field, you're not going to catch me. And so, what's the likelihood that you're going to get many runs like that in today's NFL? Not that likely. So I only need Raheem to carry the ball 4, 5, 6, 7 times a game. Raheem carry
Yeah.
the ball 4, 5, 6, 7 times a game. You're gonna average 10 to 7 yards a carry. You feel me? And you're probably gonna break one of those for an explosive. You know. And Trey, I just need you for that short area explosion. I just need you to get those on third. I need you to be the back that on 3rd and 3 that can get me 4 yards. That's all I need from Trey Sermon. And
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell, you're going to give us our Matt Breida. I'm basically looking at Elijah Mitchell as a straight Matt Breida replacement. You know, I think that I have came out and said that I'm not mad at taking Trey Sermon. I'm not mad at taking Elijah Mitchell. I'm mad that we didn't take a receiver. You
Mhm.
feel me? But of course, now hindsight before I have to say that was before Jeff Wilson's injury. Now that you have Jeff Wilson's injury, okay, yeah, good thing we did take those 2 running backs, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's smart on Lynchahan's part because I feel that they're not assuming health. And that's what we have to do. We cannot assume health of anybody this year. You can't say, hey, look, we can depend on Raheem Mostert to stay healthy. Now, with that being said, my next one, and we'll probably take a break after this one, and come back and give our final couple ones. This is probably going to be more than 5. Is what probably I want to say the D line. I want to say Mike McGlinchey. A lot's been said about Mike McGlinchey. We all know that 2020 was a bad year for Mike McGlinchey. Okay. To me, the Niners want to keep Mike McGlinchey. The Niners don't want to replace Mike. Not saying that they won't. Obviously, if they feel that there's an upgrade out there, they'll do it. But
Yeah.
I believe what they think about Mike McGlinchey is Mike McGlinchey, when he was drafted, it was, hey, he's a run blocking tackle. And what is he proved to be in the NFL? A top tier run blocking tackle, right?
Yeah.
Who needed to develop in the pass blocking side of the game. Okay, last year was obviously a step back, and yeah, there are plenty of reasons: COVID, not being able to get the proper nutrition, the proper workout routine. He was put too skinny. I remember going on KNBR on the Niners postgame show last year, saying that he looked way too skinny. Now he's bulked up this year and everything like that. So to me, I don't want the Niners to have to replace Mike McGlinchey because Mike McGlinchey was a top 10 pick. He was the 9th overall pick. And those are the type of players that need to be your Joe Staleys who are around for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And so this is the year that Mike McGlinchey needs to prove it. And so I don't think he'll never be Trent Williams. He's not even a left tackle. But I remember when he was drafted, they talked about, whether whether he would play left tackle. And he said, hey, as far as I know, right tackles still get played to play in the NFL either, or get played to play in the NFL too. And so, and also, I do believe that Mike McGlinchey will have a better season because let's be real. If Trey gets in there, having a running quarterback always, having a quarterback that can escape the rush is going to make your offensive line better. I bet you if you talk to anybody that pass blocked for Steve Young, they would tell you that sometimes it's hard because you don't know where he's going to be. But you know what? When you blow an assignment, having a quarterback that can make up for it, doesn't hurt anybody. So, Brian, we'll go ahead and we'll get into one of your next one, and then we'll go ahead and take a break. So, give us your next training camp battle.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come right back.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so I figured. Hold on, let me see. All right, good. We're good. We got a minute. Literally. So, I figured we'll do one more each. We're gonna have about half an hour left, so I figured we'll do about one more each, and then we'll get into the quarterback battle, and then we'll get up out of here.
Yeah. All right.
We got about 30 seconds left. But yeah, that's actually, you know what? I wasn't thinking about that Brandon Ayuk one. I like that one. That's actually something that, I think we're ready. Him and Debo. Matter of fact, you know what? Damn. All right, I'll let you give yours. I almost gave you one of my almost gave you one of mine.
I feel like I'm gonna say it right now.
All right, we got 10, 9, 8, 7. Damn it. Damn it. I should have kept my mouth shut. All right, 2, 1. Edward Brack. I just screwed myself. Brian, go ahead and give us your next cat battle you're looking forward to.
So it could be. I'm just gonna point this out. I'm gonna go with Fred Warner and George Kittle. Is that yours?
No, 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 no. No, no, no. Go
Uh,
ahead, go ahead.
we're
Go
good. We're
ahead. You
good.
didn't
All
take
right.
mine. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I don't know the best cover linebacker in the
Yeah.
game versus. I'm gonna say this is the top tight end in the league. I mean,
Linebacker. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm really excited. I heard Fred Warner talking about that.
Yeah.
He got a
Mm-hmm,
better.
mm-hmm.
He got better off of George Kittle route running. Like iron sharpens iron, and that's gonna be really interesting to see. But I feel like it can go both ways because
Yeah.
I mean they're both really talented. So I'll get your thoughts right now.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. That's I didn't even think about that one either. But yeah, I mean, and what you have is you have the two cornerstones of the franchise. I think last year we made it clear George Kittle.
I think we lost him. Oh, we did lose him. Um, let's see if we could find him. We lost him, but um,
Yeah. No, my bad. We're back. We're back.
all right, yeah,
Little
we're good.
technical difficulty, but yeah. I think last season the Niners made it very clear that George Kittle is the foundational piece of the offense. And just a few days ago, they made it very clear that that Fred Warner is a centerpiece of the defense. Um, iron sharpens iron. You could look. Um, Anytime we say George Kittle is the best tight end in football, anytime we come out and say Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football, it's always going to look like we're homers because we're faithful, and we don't
Yeah.
hide it and everything like that. But I generally really believe that. I generally really believe, and if you listen to the Believe in 49ers podcast every week like I do, you listen to talk about how Eric Davis, who I believe was a very very underrated corner in his time. And I believe in the 94 Niners, everybody, talks about Dion and everything like that, for rightfully so, the best corner to ever play the game. But Eric
Yeah.
Davis gets so underlooked in that 94 team. But he talked about how, you know, just the effort that he gave Jerry. He said that when Eric Davis lined up with Jerry Rice, which Jerry didn't like to go against Eric Davis in practice, he owed it to Jerry Rice to give him his all. And you know that with George Kittle. You know when George Kittle is going to line up against Fred Warner, he's saying, hey, I owe it to this football team. I owe it to my teammate, my brother, Fred Warner. You know what I'm saying? My teammate, my brother. I owe it to him to give him the best because he's not going to go up against a better tight end than me all year. And guess what? Fred Warner looks at George Kittle and says, hey, my teammate, my brother, I owe it to him to, and this football team, especially as the defensive quarterback, I owe it to this football team to give him my best because he's not going to go up against a better coverage linebacker than me
Yeah.
this year. And so when you talk about the football team, and then when you're a young player, this is why you pay George Kittle the big bucks and Fred Warner the big bucks, is when you're a player and you say, hey, these are our two leaders, two of our captains, two of the faces of the franchise, two of our best players going at it like this at practice. Man, what do you think is going to be expected of me? I'm a 5th-round rookie. I'm Diamador Lenore. I'm a 5th-round rookie. I'm telling Hufunga, I'm a 6th-round draft pick. What do you think is going to be expected of me if this is the standard that our leaders hold themselves to?
Yeah.
And that's why George Kittle and Fred Warner are going to be the best, because they're just going to go at it insanely. My last one, and I'm looking at this as a prove it, is as much as I said Emmanuel Mosley, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball and say Debo. Look, I didn't hide it. The fact that if I would have listened to trading Devo for Julio Jones. I would have. I know a lot of faithful. I think there's more. The faithful put a lot of belief in Debo and Brandon Ayuk. And I've heard a lot of, the Niners are set at receiver 1 and 2, and all the talk about receiver number 3. I believe there's more hope and reason to have hope between Brandon Ayuk, because I do believe Brandon Ayuk's legit. There's reasons, there's statistics, there's film study, route running, things that his freakishly long arms. There's things to say, hey, this man's legit. Okay? To me, Debo, it's a look, hamstring issues are clearly because you're not in shape. What was the knock on Debo in 2019? Knock on Debo was health, and is he going to keep himself in the best shape at all times? Now, I love Debo. Don't get me wrong. I love Debo. I believe Debo's like a little bit like George Kittle, in the sense that George Kittle's going to miss games this year because of the physical brand of football he plays. It's just the way it is. George Kittle's going to miss games this year. But that's what you have to accept, that when you if you're screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and loving it when George Kittle's carrying half the freaking Aints defense on his back on 4th and 2, you know what I'm saying? And when he's freaking running through, when he's taking I forget the Vikings player that he took and ran into the ground and was laughing like a maniac.
Oh,
If that's why you love George Kittle, which is the reason I do, he's gonna miss some games. Oh, I cut out?
no, I heard you. I already
Did I cut out?
perfectly fine. No,
All right. Yeah, I
you're
think we're
good.
good.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. So I think that yeah, basically, to sum this up, and then we'll go ahead and get into quarterbacks. I believe that Debo's always going to miss games just because of the physical brand of football that he plays. You feel me? That's just, this isn't a video game. When you're a human being and you run into, especially linebackers and D linemen on jet sweeps and things of that nature, look, it's just physics. Your
Yeah.
shoulder can only take so many hits, But to me, what I want to see from Debo is no hamstring issues, no soft tissue injuries. You break your foot, you're George Kittle, you break your foot. I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what, drink more milk? Like, bones break. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it. But there is something you can do about, not pulling your hamstring. And so, love Debo. I have high expectations for Debo. But to me, this is a contract year for Debo. Not saying that the Niners will cut him after this year, but if Debo wants the type of commitment that we showed George Kittle, that we showed Fred Warner, that we showed Trent Williams, that we keep on showing Kyle Juszczyk, this is his Kyle Juszczyk's second big deal with the Niners. So clearly we keep on showing that financial commitment to Kyle Juszczyk, to Juice. So if Debo wants to be among those players, I need to see it from him this year, bro. I need you on the field, Debo, because we can't have that much money sitting on IR like we did last year and hope to compete for championships. Now, we're going to do the position quarterback battle a little bit different. I think we're both going to kind of give our thoughts on the overall on the position of the battle and everything like that, and then I guess ultimately say who we believe will be the starter week 1. Brian, I'll go ahead and let you start.
Um, as starting wise, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is gonna start. But as training camp wise, I think people are gonna be like, "Whoa, Trey Lance, this guy, this rookie, he could he's gonna get more love." I think because he's a rookie, and I think people are gonna view him like as they're gonna know all the good stuff that he did, and um, they're gonna put behind all the missed throws or if he has some interceptions. I believe so. I don't think Trey is gonna have a bad training camp. Uh, I think he's gonna take over, but I don't think he's gonna take the job from Jimmy.
So I pretty much agree with everything that you said. I ultimately do believe Jimmy Garoppolo will be our starter week 1. Now, if you said over under, do you believe that Jimmy will start and finish the season as the starter? I would have to. I mean, I think you would have to say no. I think that you would say like yes. I do believe that Trey Lance will be the starter at some point this season because simply just for 2 reasons. A, either Jimmy's going to get hurt, right? I mean, let's be real. If Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get hurt, I believe that we're having a different conversation if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get hurt, right? So even if you're a Jimmy fan like I am, I'm not a Jimmy stan, but I'm a Jimmy fan like I am, you have to say that, look, you had to insulate yourself against Jimmy getting hurt. You feel
Yeah,
me? So I believe that now. Secondly, I do now. If you tell me if you tell me Jimmy's healthy the full year, will he remain the starter? Yes, I do believe that because ultimately, but I do believe that Jimmy can play well, but still not be the starter. Because I'll believe this: when Kyle Shanahan says to himself, "Trey Lance is ready to take over this football team," it's going to happen. Whether that's week 1, week 18, whenever it is, when Kyle Shanahan says, "Hey, Trey Lance is ready to take over this football team," he's going to, you know. But I almost expect, look, I expect Trey Lance to look really good in practice. I expect that the Niners are going to, especially in front of fans, I expect that where I expect that they're going to want Trey Lance to look good in front of fans. You feel me? They're going to want Trey Lance to look good in front of the media, right? You know, because what does Kyle Shanahan not want? Kyle Shanahan knows he's going to get questions about Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo and who's the starter and all that. They had to know that was coming the moment that they pretty much came out and said that, hey, we're drafting a quarterback.
yeah,
Okay, those are going to come. What Kyle Shanahan doesn't want is stories about Trey Lance struggling. He doesn't want the narrative to be Jimmy's the starter because Trey Lance is not ready. And so I
yeah,
expect both quarterbacks to look good in this camp. So then what I would say is when do you stretch Trey Lance? When do you have even going into the preseason? I don't expect them to ask Trey Lance to do anything difficult in the preseason. Where I believe Trey Lance is really going to get worked on and make his progress throughout the season is going to be in practices that are closed to the public and the media. In the
yeah,
2 weeks between the final preseason game and the first regular season games, I believe that's where they're going to really put Trey Lance in uncomfortable positions because the narrative of this camp cannot be, oh my God, the Niners made the wrong pick, right?
Yeah.
It has to. It's a balancing act of saying, hey, Trey Lance looks good. You can tell that he's a rookie. You can tell he's only 21 years old. You can tell that he's essentially not played football in a season. I expect those things to happen. You know what I'm saying? And just simply because of not playing football since October of last year. And also since the fact is, hey, guess what? They weren't playing any Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Jimmy Wards at North Dakota State. You feel me? He's going to struggle a little bit just simply because the talent around him is that he's going against is going to be better. You know what I'm saying? There weren't no Jason Verrett's at North Dakota State.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think that but the narrative needs to be, yeah, Trey Lance, overthrew some passes today, but did you see that deep out that he threw? You feel me? Or did you see that pass deep down in the money where he put it right in the breadbasket and hit Brandon Ayuk for stride for a 70-yard touchdown? As long as we're seeing those type of plays,
Mhm.
as long as we see those type of plays, I'm not saying consistently. I believe that that's okay. I don't need Trey Lance to be the starter this year. Now, I do believe that eventually he will become the starter this year, unless Jimmy stays healthy. I don't believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be benched because of play this year. I believe that if Jimmy Garoppolo is not the starter at any point during this season, either the Niners have clinched as much as they can clinch, and you're just not exposing, your starting quarterback to injury, or Jimmy's hurt and Trey has to start by default.
Yeah. And
I
also,
just don't believe. Go ahead.
like, let's hope there's no COVID outbreak, but something like that could happen. So, but like I
Yeah,
said, like let's hope
good point,
like that
Brian.
doesn't happen.
Look, it's 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 out there. I mean, obviously we got to be careful when talking about the virus because we don't want YouTube or any places to trip about us or whatever. But let's be real. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo could miss some games this year if he gets tested positive for corona or for
Yeah.
the virus. Sorry. It's just true. Whatever you feel about it politically, that's not what this discussion's about. The discussion's about the fact that it's a realistic. I mean, we seen Trent Williams last year. Trent Williams
Yeah.
missed a game because tested positive for COVID.
And we have that Green
And
Bay
so,
game.
I know there was a crazy game. Yeah, the Green Bay game. I'm not going to get in whether people should be vaccinated or not, but with the NFL coming out with the rule about, look, if an unvaccinated player causes us to cancel a game, that player's team is going to take a loss.
Yeah.
They're going to forfeit and take a loss. And so that could, imagine if that happened in 2019. Instead of Dre Greenlaw being able to make the clinch by an inch, we had to forfeit that game because some player that wasn't vaccinated tested positive and a game got canceled. One game could really mean something in the standings, especially if it comes down to tiebreakers, especially when, I don't know where we'll get, just to let everybody know this now, the Tuesday before the season starts. So I believe that will be the whatever date that is. We will be doing a season preview with all the hosts of Niner Faithful Radio. So we'll get everybody's thoughts on the season then. But look, Jason and I have both came out and said the Niners aren't winning the Super Bowl if they don't get the bye week, just because of when our bye is during the regular season, and that's just way too many weeks in a row playing football without a break to expect us to continue to stay healthy and play at a high level. So a loss in the standings could basically be the difference of us, winning a Super Bowl or not. Yeah, that will be September 7th will be our season preview show. So as we wrap up, Brian, one last thought, and then we'll go ahead and let you go. Does Jimmy Garoppolo get traded this season or not?
I don't know.
You gotta give me an answer, bro. You can't back out of this one.
I'll say no. I think
No.
most of the NFL teams got situated. I mean, it's already not late, but unless injuries happens and we're already pushing for it, I believe so. But the narrative around the training camp that Kyle Shanahan might not practice hardcore, like he's gonna have fans there, so he's gonna, give him some light plays. So the fan base won't be, yeah, it's Trey Lance season, let's go. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't think he's gonna get traded this year, but it just depends. But that's my opinion.
I don't believe so either, because I believe that if he was going to get traded, it had happened already.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if you would have told me in January, hey, the Niners are going to trade for the 3rd overall pick, right? I would have thought Jimmy would, I believe, and you said Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get traded. I'd have believed it would have happened already. I don't believe that. So with that being said, now this of course is before, because I believe that, okay, so if Aaron Rodgers does retire, would the Packers love him instead of Jordan Love? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would. But
Yeah.
guess what? The Niners aren't trading Jimmy Garoppolo to the Whackers. That's not happening.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady goes down, would the Buccaneers love Jimmy Garoppolo? Yeah, but yet again, you kind of get what I'm saying here. Like, the Niners aren't going to trade him to the NFC. The Niners aren't going to trade him to the NFC. So, and it's just not going to happen. So I believe that he would. Now in the offseason, yeah, I believe that's the best opportunity to have it happen, would be the offseason. But I don't believe he's going to get traded in season, because any team that I think would be interested in trading him, the Niners wouldn't. He's not going to get traded within the division.
Yeah.
He's not going to get traded in the NFC. So, okay, maybe an AFC team, but I don't see it happening. And to me, or I should say this: the only way I see it happening is if Jimmy is benched because of play. Which ultimately, if Jimmy's benched because of play, who's training for him? Because the team basically, if Jimmy's getting benched because of play, the Niners are no team's going to trade for him, because they're like, whatever, the Niners are going to cut him, and we can pick him up in the free agent market for nothing. Because I don't believe Jimmy. If you're benching Jimmy Garoppolo because of play, I don't believe he can stay on the Niners roster.
Yeah.
Because you can't pay your backup $27 million, whatever he's making this year. You just that screws up the finances of a team.
No, yeah,
But
I agree with that.
what you did to your camera. You look amazing. I don't know what I did to my camera, huh? That's interesting. Maybe it's better lighting or something. I look amazing, huh? Your voice getting a little air. Stop, Jason. You're blowing up my ego. All right, y'all. Well, before I just seen my brother-in-law, so gotta go say hi to the niece and everything. But before we get out of here, we're gonna go ahead and say we'll see you next week. Brian, thanks for joining us. We will be going over training camp next time. Oh, great. I just opened FL Studio. We shall see you next week when we go training camping. We go training camping. We go camping at training camp. See you then, bro. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get ready to run the raid. But before we do, go to twitch.tv/Niner Faithful Radio to join us for all the live streams of all our shows. For the Faithful by the Faithful pre-launch sale is coming July 30th. Make sure you go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop to save 20% off of all our designs. Go to seatgiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets. Get your officially licensed Niner gear by using our affiliate link that is in the description of this video and podcast. And go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com to subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts and see all the previous episodes of all our shows. Follow the show on social media, on Twitter at Niner Faithful R, and on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio. Oh, well, you're not pixelated. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. We're going to go ahead and rate the channel. Okay. Whatever. Oh, somebody playing with the Niners. Let's roll. All right. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right, let's go ahead and raid. Okay, I think we're good to go. All right, we're going to go ahead. See y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
Now, 8 seconds to go. Third down. They only have time for 2 plays no matter what. So Rice goes out to the left. And if you want to take one crack, maybe he's the guy you should go for. Young almost falls down. Throws to the end zone.
Other had a conversation not too long ago, and